I now invite Amit to enlighten us on application to visa meeting. What exactly is expected from every consultant to support the system in full? It's all yours, Amit, please. You want to use this?
Am I okay? Okay, could you hear me at the back? Okay, perfect. Chilling quite loud though. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much, first of all, to Balaji for this opportunity here, Nishi, and all the AAERI executive members to today voice out what we are looking for when we are looking at the student profiles from an education provider's point of view. Now, what I've done it is, though I work for Trobe University, but I've actually tried to put together the feedback of the sector, of all the providers. I've spoken to a lot of them. We keep talking. It's not something that I've done this for presentations, but I've actually, we talk to each other. We take a lot of intelligence from each other. We make sure that what all you say, that you need to be consistent. We all want to be consistent. But we know the end goal post or the end goal for all of us is the same. Could I just go back? I think this is the last slide on the questions. How could I move this? Now it's working. Perfect. Excellent. Great. Now it's working now. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So what I'll do it is that in the next 20-25 minutes, I'll try to talk about the GS settings. Why is GS so important for all of us? And what are we expecting, and roles of every stakeholder in the sector? Because it's not something that can be achieved individually as a provider, but it's something as an effort that we need to put together as all the stakeholders. Now, one thing is very, very clear, that overall, when we talk about Australia definitely is looking to welcome more international students. There's a wave of positivity. Even you look at the NOS, under the national planning levels, they have been raised by 25,000. So it's gone from 270,000 to about 295,000 now, which itself talks about it. But one thing that constantly been mentioned there is about making sure that you are putting, or we are sending, the genuine students to Australia. That's what is the need. Now, why exactly is that the requirement? And why does the GS matters to all of us? Now, we all keep talking about visa success. We celebrate it a lot. We say visa success is the final goal for us. It is the goal for us. We all want to make sure that our students are ready. They got the right documentation. They're putting the right files or paperwork to the immigration so that they could get the positive decision. But we strongly believe that's not what is a final result only that we want to achieve. It's way beyond. The way I look at it is that the goalpost has actually shifted. Now, what is more important for us is that with the quality, with a high visa grant rate, we also want to make sure that education providers are getting right students who want to study with us, and each provider gets higher retention rates. It's very, very important. That means the right fit, the right course, and they come to making the choice of the right institution, making sure that the students are not misusing the system, the visa. So these are the three factors we want to look into, making sure that visa grant rates are higher, the students' retention is high, and also most importantly, there is no misuse of the visa system. All right, what are the core areas that we as education providers are looking into? So the first thing is financial readiness. Are students ready with the financials or the expenses involved with their education? Now, I know we keep getting these questions about, I know we have met the requirements of the visa. I've got a loan sanctioned. I've shown the income documents of the parents. Why are they not getting approved? Or why are you asking for more documents? The reason is we want to make sure the student understands what are the type of expenses which are involved into the course or the program that they have chosen. And we want to look beyond just the documentation of income and also maybe loans or the bank account statements. So you would have seen that now the education providers are looking more into things like income tax returns, past incomes. Some of it questions about, could we do the lodgements of ITRs altogether for 3 years. And we said, no, that's not what it shows. We want genuine documents. So we want to make sure that students are aware what are the type of expenses involved and they're ready to afford that. Genuine intention, very, very important. Student understands what course are they coming for, what education provider they're going to, what is the course and the specialization and the career outcomes. It's very important when you're making such a large investment that you need to know it. And that's a great way for us to find out that really if the student is serious about their studies and the institution that they're going to. So it's very, very important for us to check that. Capacity or capability to succeed. We've started to look at that as education providers very, very carefully. So what we do it is, we look into the student progression in their academic, academic succession. We also want to see, have they got the right background? Have they done the right type of subjects to succeed in the program that they're looking for? Now, I'll give you an example. Many times you see a student with who's done year 12 and done subjects like music, cookery, and then physical education, and wants to do a bachelor's of IT. Is the probability of the students getting successful? The answer is no. So what we do it as an education provider, we think is not made the right choice. And we want to deal with them, we want to engage with them, we want to guide them. We're not saying we say no to them, but we want to make sure that do they understand of what they're committing to, and do they have the capability of completing that qualification or not. So we're looking into that sort of things. And definitely immigration history, we look at the immigration history, we look at the incentive for them to come. We want to make sure that we see the incentive to return back to their home country post course completion also. All right. What type of documents do we ask for when we look into all these assessments? So we look at, do they have authentic income and funding documents? So we are doing a lot of verifications. We do a lot of checks in terms of, are the documents genuine? So I gave an example of recently filed ITRs. Are they good? So what we feel is, if you don't have the documentation, you're creating the documents, it's a concern for us. If you're putting the money in the bank account, but you don't have the source of it, we've got a concern. That is that what you've just created to get a visa, or show us that you meet our GS settings. It's not what we want to accept. Number two, dependency on loans and family sponsors. Now this is becoming very important. I want to touch upon this. Many a times we get cases where a student says, I've taken a full loan. I've got a loan of 40 lakh rupees. I've got income documents of, let's say, 10 to 12 lakh rupees of parents. Could you approve that case? The answer is, should we approve, should we not? The answer could be yes, could be no. But what we do it is, we do the holistic check of the student profile. Now, you're taking a loan, that's fine, that's absolutely okay. But the question is, again, going back to that, do you have the capability to afford the education? Are you financially ready? Or the loan is just been taken to get a visa approved. So we're looking into the additional investments, even if they are not as what are required to be shown for liquidity. So you want to understand the full. It's great to understand from the student when we talk to them to find out, do they really know? Now, a question is, how would a student know? They might not know about the parents. Sometimes parents don't tell them about their savings, about their income. That's okay. We are happy to even talk to the parents also. So as education providers, we are talking. Now, it is misinterpreted by saying, oh, the institution education providers have started interviewing parents also. And the answer is no, we are not. We are not. And I know a lot of providers you talk about like this. In the sector, we keep hearing, this institution is doing that, that one is doing that. It's not the intention. It's when you say, student doesn't know, could you please talk to the father? Could you talk to the mother? All right. What's harm in it? Absolutely. We're very happy to do it, but we're not interviewing parents. All right. Student academic consistency in the home country. If they can't do the studies well here, I can assure you they would not be successful there. And that becomes one of the reasons for them to say, I want to leave my institution. So what we do it is, we look into the academic performances very carefully before we say yes or no to them. And family history, immigration history, student immigration history becomes important. Then it doesn't mean what we are saying it is that if they have a past visa rejection, that means they can't go. We have never said that. I don't think any education provider said this. What we want to know it is the reason, circumstances under which your immigration, your family visa was rejected. That's what we want to understand to have a deeper the GS assessment, or making sure that we're doing the accurate GS assessment. All right, what exactly as institution are doing to strengthen their GS compliance? Now, I want to share some secrets, but I want to say it out because it's good for us to know that what exactly are the education providers doing these days. So, number one is that I'm sure you know, we are consistently engaging with our students. And as the topic says, from the application to the time they get the visa and further, even when they reach the campus, there's a lot extra support that has been created or developed to make sure the students are given a full support at every stage of their application and when they come to Australia to settle down as well at the university. So there's a lot more engagement happening. Risk compliance first. We are monitoring the student quality very, very carefully. And we are also monitoring the risk patterns also very, very carefully. Now, interestingly, what we do it is we actually do a lot of data digging now. We look at where are the students coming from, what type of courses are problematic from what region. It's like a combination of a lot of factors. What background they are from. So we actually know about those patterns, courses, the regions, and hence the GS setting sometimes varies. The interviews varies. The checks varies. But that doesn't mean that education providers are stopping students. Anytime we all want to create opportunities for more and more students to come and study with us in Australia. We're not stopping them, but just we want to make sure that students exactly provide us the right information. They are interested in studying, and that's how we look at the past patterns and try to make sure that we're doing enough checks based on that. So a lot of analysis has been done, and interestingly, each provider goes to the representative and talk about it. So we are talking to you about it. We're telling you about where do we see concerns and gray areas, and what are the measures that we are taking in those regions to make sure that we work together to create opportunities for the genuine students. Number three, close coordination within the university. Also, the recruitment division, the admissions and compliance are working very, very closely. So there's a lot more discussions, there's a lot more transparency, there's a lot more sharing on information that's happening within the education providers to make sure that we are taking the right decisions. Like I said, GS is to encourage genuine students. It's not to stop the students. There's a wrong perception about it. The strict scrutiny of documentation and also engagement with students. So we are really now, you would have heard that we are interviewing students. All the students get interviewed. There's a video interview that's done. Again, it's a great way for us to really understand and talk to the student. Now, as our representatives, I want to say that I think most of us are very open to give a student another opportunity. For example, if they've gone nervous or they have not been able to do well in the interview because it's a life-changing moment for them. They know that they are taking a big decision and you tend to get nervous. I'll be honest, I could get nervous in such situations. So we do understand that the students can absolutely, through the representatives, approach their education provider and say, I want another opportunity. So we're very happy to engage with the students again and give them another opportunity. We are not that rigid saying, sorry, the interview is done, you didn't do well, you're rejected. All right, territory strategies. I've actually covered this, but I just want to say that we are constantly working on now our regional strategies, understanding regional behaviors and what's going on in every region. So it's within the country, within a state also, there's a lot of work that we are doing to constantly understand what are the trends building up. So we all work on those sort of trends. Student readiness, we are investing heavily on the pre-departure sessions, student interaction sessions. Like I said, we've enhanced our resources, our investments into supporting students at every single stage. But intention is to work with you, to support you, to make sure that we are working hand in hand to support the students. That's the intention. That's why we are working closely with you. And I know a lot of our representatives have appreciated that effort, that there is a lot more coordination that they see in the last few years. And the agent support, we're making sure that our representatives, our partners are well trained on the courses, on the education providers, the type of information that student needs to know before they make a decision of an education provider where they want to study and the course they want to study. All right, what do we expect from our representatives? What we want from them? Number one, provide detailed counseling. on courses, cost, and career outcomes. So whatever I mentioned about, the student needs to know this, they need to be financially ready, they need to know about the right course, what they want to come up with. I think there is nothing better, or there can't be any other way actually than us and you working together and making sure that we are providing our students that information at every stage. And that is where I always believe that it's important to engage with the students. Technology is great, it's a blessing, but with the technology, they definitely need human touch as well. They need to be talking to you. Could be technology, could be over the video conference. It doesn't have to be that they have to sit down together in a place, but it could be through technology, but they need to talk to you, they need to understand, you need to understand your student. That's very important. And same goes with us as education providers, that we need to understand our students, and that's the different measures I talk about is what is an effort made to understand what our students are, who they are. Conduct holistic GS assessment during the student screening. So again, I have mentioned about all the factors that you need to look into to make sure that you are creating opportunities and you're encouraging the genuine students. Ensure authentic documentation before submission. So please make sure that you are doing the verification of documents. You're checking the documents. And there are various sources, which I'm sure you would have heard before in the AAERI, you've heard in the different forums. There are ways to verify documents. It's so very important that you are checking your document at your end and then passing it on to us. I can tell you that there are ways, we all at our universities have got the ways where we are actually at our best capacity verifying a lot of documents, whatever we could. The few we can't, but slowly, gradually seeing that things are changing and we can even check more documents. And also for you even to conduct pre-departure sessions, engage with students, making sure that they're getting absolutely prepared before they leave the country. I always give an example. A lot of times students say, I've got a visa, and in their excitement, they forget to book their accommodation. They forget to book their airport pickups. Trust me, you go for a tourism trip even, you're going for tourism, and you don't book your accommodation, you don't book your airport pickup, except that you've been to that place, you're familiar, it's a different case, you know how the system works. But most of the students, I read an article which says 70% of the Indians go overseas to that country where they're going for the first time when they go for their education. So they don't know the system. It's so very important to encourage them to make arrangements before they go. It's worse landing up in a country with that sort of experience where you got not a great welcome, means you got nothing, you don't know where to go, you end up sleeping at the airport, and then what you do it is you feel homesick and say, I want to go back. And then the problem starts in a bigger way. So my request is, please make sure that you're putting that effort on the students where they understand. Make sure if they say, I know someone there, so you know that, all right, they're in good hands, they've got the arrangements in place. So that sort of engagement is very important. And I keep saying this because for me, it's my 25th year in the sector. I remember early days for the first few years when I was counseling, we used to make sure actually that our students are landing up there. And trust me, I've had incidents where I've told students, you've made the arrangement, they said yes. And then the students have flown on, they reached Australia. And then I'm getting calls from the mother saying, oh, I can't contact my son, my daughter. Could you help me to do that? How could I do in the midnight? Or I don't know where my child is. What should we do? And I'm saying, sorry, but I'm as helpless as you. I don't know where they are. Let's wait for them to call you back, Though I know that technology has changed over the 25 years where kids can now easily do a WhatsApp call and tell you. But still, good to make an arrangement. And there are free internet on the airport, so it's so easy. All right, so why GS is important? 2 key messages. Help students to make the right choice. And number 2, make sure that they get the best chance of securing the visa and completing their degree successfully. So end goal is the students graduating, not getting the visa. All right, I'll stop here, but very happy to take any questions. Or do you want first Guru Pratap to maybe say a few words and then